tuxedo, scratchy Cassavetes. He's slumbering on the top floor of the cat tree. Oh, sorry about that. You have a good one, okay? All right, it is Sunday, January 11th, 2026. And I'm going to go ahead and reset the accumulated info. Welcome to the Please Subscribe show. There we go. I'm Cole Spivey. This is Critter. He hangs on my rearview mirror and just hangs out. He likes to live, laugh, and smell good. Hello, I'm Cole. Welcome to my channel and to the Please Subscribe show. All right, so what I've done today, I did get the JWW on the move message. I'm glad that he has projected possible videos. I've watched, not all of them, but I've watched some of his independently. Of course, here's how my whole thing went down on YouTube, finding AdamtheWoo. It was Jordan the Lion that I found first because he did this tarot card reading with the supposed son of Charlie Manson, and I thought that was very strange, and I clicked on it, and eventually by watching him I heard about AdamtheWoo, and then I started watching AdamtheWoo, and I just became addicted, and I've been a fan for 4.5 years. And yeah, it was a daily staple for many people. It was like, you know, get up, do this and that, and then let's watch a little bit of AdamtheWoo, see what he's doing. I would at least figure out what he was doing. I got to the point where I had to find a way not to watch him too much. So I tried to, for a temporary moment. I never really unsubscribed, but I am going to say something strange. The night that he passed, I was making sure that it was on all rather than personal, meaning when you subscribe. And by the way, please subscribe. And also, if you'd like to support the channel, I'll leave my PayPal right here. Big thumbs up. And I unsubscribed for just a slight second, and then I put it on all because Scott on Tape, there's the butterfly. Scott on Tape recommended that to do that for some reason in one of his videos. And then that night, I looked down on my feed, and there was something that said that he had rest in peace, AdamtheWoo, and I was like, this is a hoax. And that was on Video Bob Mosley's channel, who's actually from Haltom. But back to JWW, the thing I think of is I've done some acting. So I was part of a Christian drama group out in Dallas and in here in Fort Worth, and I had got to play Apollyon, who is the bad character that John Bunyan talks about, representation of kind of like the devil. When we first opened it here in Fort Worth, I was the one that said, "Where do you come from and where are you going?" And he was kind of like, we played him as kind of like this prince. And not exactly how John Bunyan wrote him. Then we did the play again in Dallas at the Brownlee Theater, and this was Pilgrim's Progress. It was written like in the 1660s. But we turned it into a play, and I played Christian. So I got a lot of theology, and I hung out with a lot of Dallas theological seminary students, Christians, and people that were followers and possible future ministers, which JWW on the Move is. And the thing I always think about when I see JWW up there is I think of evangelist in a way. And he might agree with that a little bit. You know, pointing the way. And I definitely think AdamtheWoo's behavior, I believe, pointed the way, you know. What's wrong with making friends, and what's wrong with, I guess you could say, living your life to the fullest, you know. I didn't see anything wrong with not a single video. I know he had some similar past that I had, and no one's perfect, and no one's always going to say the right things. Just wanted to give thanks to the Lord. But we do come to a time where we find a path. An evangelist will point the way, you know. And in the play, it was towards the sun, and it was the light that Pilgrim was pointed toward. And I believe that was the gospel. I just wanted to share this. I know in the Revelations, I found this thing today. It's a little Bible thing that you can find it, because some of these Bible apps are difficult to navigate. I find they're very, very difficult to navigate. But one thing I wanted to say in response to JWW is in Revelations 21:4. This is, I guess, possibly John, who wrote Revelations, coming to conclusion about the new heaven and new earth. And eventually, he says in chapter 21, I heard a loud shout from the throne saying, look, God's home is now among his people. He will live with them, and they will be his people. God himself will be with him, or God himself will be with them, and he will wipe away every tear for their eyes, or he'll wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there will be no more death or sorrow or crying or pain, and these things are gone forever. And that's said many different that's said many different ways in different versions. But basically, it means that Adam is in a better place, and the pain that we feel now will be a former thing when we are reunited in the New Jerusalem. Just wanted to say that. And also, this is the time of the show where you get to watch me pick up food and drop it off at your doorstep. And thank you, JWW, for just your words and your bravery. And I think you did the right thing with Adam, raising him and his sister and everybody. And you've touched a lot of people in the community, and we have to give thanks to that. And I'm so happy that the day when you and Adam went to the mall to see the same thing that the living Son, our Messiah, did similar. He made crowds appear so that it's a Christ-like thing, so that he could reach the masses. And the behavior is so important, and I think that's what we learn. And two characters that Adam reminded me of in John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress, because we're all on a Pilgrim's Progress, whether we like it or not. I think he kind of reminded me a little bit of Faithful, a little bit of Hopeful. You know, they both come to the river of death, and they both have to cross. Well, Faithful does it a different way than Hopeful. In the story, it's just Hopeful and Pilgrim that cross it. But they eventually have to go that route, just like we all do. And it's a lesson to be learned. And I'm proud to say Jesus Christ's name, and that he's real and alive among us. And I'm proud to be one of his people. God bless. Here we go. Right, Casa's gonna start Wizard of Oz pretty soon here, and they'll finish up February 15th, and then Hairspray will kick in, right, Casa? I've also been wanting to do this. When I tapped in the first time to AdamtheWoo's channel, he was deciding at that time to leave California, and this was probably right around COVID, which was a very, very hard time for everybody. And he was going to leave California and then find a place, and I believe he had mentioned Celebration, so he was already deciding to go. And I have to admit, I was like, who is this lowly character that's so interesting? And he had these shades on, and I had no idea he was that big, but he was a pretty big deal at the time when I came in. It was about 4.5 years ago or so. And he was gonna have a place in California. He was gonna keep that place, so it was like an apartment. And he was gonna get an apartment in Florida. I think he mentioned Celebration. And so that was it was a big transition period. So he was gonna leave California. And I think Jordan was thinking about it too. They had different reasons why. And then that's when I picked up on the channel. And then the first thing I did is I went back and I started watching his early stuff, and then I realized, you know, how incredibly talented and gifted and you know, it just incredibly funny and inventive. And you know, they're calling him a pioneer of the YouTube. And then the whole, you know, intro, the punk rock thing, and I had a punk rock kind of upbringing when I was younger, a teenager, a rebel. And I just thought, man, this guy, if he has anything to say about YouTube, I'm going to be listening. And he did. And I binge watched him for an unhealthy amount of time. And then I got addicted to hot dogs too. Started eating a lot of hot dogs too, because he was always eating hot dogs. I was like, well, I'm at the gas station. I'll go ahead and try a 7-Eleven hot dog. And gained a little bit of weight. I think at the time I was like 170 pounds. But it was interesting, his lessons, because so he has some teaching about iMovie. It's not like a real in-depth teaching. Okay, going back to AdamtheWoo, it's not real, you know, in-depth teaching of iMovie, but I think that's what he was using at one time. And he shows himself editing. It's hard to find. I don't know the video. And he did this thing where he dropped some of the audio and moved it over. He did it really, really quick and was showing some of it. And so I started exploring like advanced editing and things like that. So it was like, in this walk that we're in, whether it be a religious one, which I don't think Adam was a Bible-thumping, dogmatic, Pharisees, religious kind. I don't think he wasn't like that. Although he'd go to Tammy Faye Baker or whatever, those people, and like he was, I knew that there was some kind of, I found out eventually his father was a minister, but he wasn't that way. He came off as just a person, you know, that was trying to do this show, this daily woo and everything. But he shows a little bit of it, and that helps. He shows a little bit of the how. Not all the upload stuff, but it's something that I think everyone has to explore themselves. But even if they show a little bit of it, it gives a lot of ideas. He talked about that, I think, and he said, you know, people that pass away, they leave kind of a legacy. Even if it's little things, even if you say something crazy or stupid, or you act weird or something like that, you're still gonna leave, you know, your legacy. We got one at Flower Child, 5:27 arrival, 1 minute, 0.2 for the pickup. This is where the old Apple store was. I don't know why they moved. They moved all the way over there. Over the last few months. They were right here. So I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to be by Williams-Sonoma. I have no idea. This is Flower Child that we're going to. Alright, looks like they got a steak plate. It is gluten-free. Sweet corn, quinoa. And the two of those, okay. 2 shrimp and 2 steaks. So I know kind of the size of what kind of bag to bring in. Pretty hefty one. Drink water. It's good for you. Looks like they're doing the chicken bolognese, organic tomatoes, squash noodles, mushroom, sofrito, parmesan, basil, and olive oil. All right, so we're headed towards Lakeworth. So if I see any sightings of the Lakeworth monster, I will keep you posted. Flower Child on the way, 5:49 arrival, 16 minutes, 11 miles for the live. And just for posterity, it's this video right here. 31 minutes and 37 seconds. That's the one I watched today. JWW on the move. He hadn't been up on video in about 5 years. And this was posted after, I believe after they laid Adam to rest. It was edited, and it is useful. It is helpful. And then I watched a little bit of adventures right here. Give me a second. What I'm trying to do is follow some of Adam's friends more, because his spirit is there with them, and you know, just to see their take on their angle on different things. And he had a lot of Disneyland friends. This guy right here is, I believe, if it'll click in, his name is Adventures by George. Okay. So he had several friends, you know, that were kind of followers of him too, fans of him. And he would appear on their show and they would appear on his show. And he usually would kind of go like this, and all of a sudden, you know, it's Tampa J or Adventures with George or Great Escape or things like that. Or Super Enthused. Or who else is someone I watched? There's a lot of them. Scott and Tate. You know, it was recently there. Jacob the Carpetbagger. You know, he would do that, and that's just genius. It's just one little move with the hand, you know, and boom, you know, new person on his show. Total pioneer. Lakeworth. This is supposedly where the Lakeworth monster was seen, the Lakeworth monster. I don't know which way Greer Island is. It could be over this way, or it could be over that way. I'd have to look on a map. We'll get to that later. Alright, so still getting information on the Lakeworth monster. Supposedly it happened at night, Greer Island, not too far from the Nature Center and Refuge, which is the Lakeworth Nature Center. They do a reenactment, I think yearly. Supposedly has white fur. He has horns like a goat. They call him the Goat Man. And I don't know, that could be an area. There could be areas over there. It could be really anywhere. Supposedly, some guy put some kind of rubber thing, made like a sea creature, and that turned out to be a hoax. But I don't know where Greer Island. Greer Island has basically has a bridge that goes to it. But it happened on July 10th of 1969. It did make the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, and there were police reports filed that the 7-foot-tall, furry, white creature fell from a tree, jumped on this lady's car. Her name was Lisa Reichert. It was John and Lisa Reichert. They were a married couple. They weren't drinking. He was out fishing, and supposedly he saw it. And then they all went searching for it. Some people were armed, and they all met up at a place called the Pit. And it was like a crowd of people. And there, lo and behold, the Lakeworth monster appears. Why am I having trouble with that word? Lakeworth monster appears on the top of this cliff, running back and forth. He throws a tire. It's like a tire with a rim in it, 500 feet. And then runs off and disappears and never seen again. There's been a few more. There's been one photo posted in '69 by Alan Pastor, I believe, or Alan Pastor or Plaster or something like that. I'll have to look at his name again. But he basically posted a photo as black and white. It looked like the Sasquatch or like the Bigfoot kind of thing. But I don't think he hangs out in places like this. It was a lot like the last one. 1, 2, or 3. Let's see. Probably gonna go with that one. Turned out to be that. Stay in the Texas folklore, the Lakeworth monster is a legendary creature inhabited Lakeworth at Fort Worth Nature Center and Refuge. Just outside Fort Worth, the creature is often described as part man, part goat, with scales and long clawed fingers. So it might talk a little bit. Here's some history. 1969. It was July 10th, I know that. And it was John and Lisa Reichard. That was part of it. It was published in the newspaper. Alan Plaster. That was the one that got the photo. That's what I was looking for. Alan Plaster. Which that kind of suits him, you know, like plastering the photo on a wall. Alan Plaster. So he took a photo, and it's like this white, furry creature. I showed it on the previous vlog. I'll probably be able to find it here. Go to other links. Let's see. I'm having technical difficulties. I'll see if I can find the photo. All right, I found it. These are the photos by Plaster. There's Alan, or is it John Plaster? And that was a photo that he took of it. I don't know if that's fake. So if it's a costume, it doesn't look like a costume. So I don't know what that is. But that's what they found. The Lakeworth monster. So newspapers also published a photograph purportedly taken of the creature by Alan Plaster. Carolyn, go into the light, Carolyn. Or stay away from the light, Carolyn. Carolyn. All right, got one at Shake Shack, 6:12 arrival, 1 minute, 0.3 for the pick. It's my Indian war cry. Alright, this is the Korean style chicken sandwich, burger, and looks like wings. And some type of Alright, Shake Shack on the way. 6:30 arrival, 11 minutes, 5 miles for the delivery. I'm just gonna put it down for object because they don't do stolen vehicle on here anymore on this version. It's still closed. Kitty. Bringing the food. I really do appreciate the beat on this song. It's got a nice little rhythm. Jeff Tweedy pretty much dedicated his entire life to music. Something about this song. And this is a pretty cool road too, known as Burton Hill. Like Tim Burton Hill. It's kind of spooky too. Burton Hill. They call it Burton Hill. All right, got one at Rusty Taco, 6:43, 4 minutes, 1.2 for the pickup. If you're coming to Fort Worth on Camp Bowie, you'll find the Ridgely, and they do some shows there. Sometimes they even do like punk rock shows, and they show movies, and it's also a church. The Paradox Church is what it was for a while. Rusty Taco. Howdy, taco time. The local hour. All right, Rusty Tacos, 7 o'clock arrival, 10 minutes, 5.1 mile for the delivery. Mellow Mushroom on the way. 7-Eleven arrival, 8 minutes, 2.7 for the pickup. It's a pretty good song. It's called Deep in Love by Bonnie Light Horseman. I used to walk this path. The railroad tracks, I think, are coming up, but they're usually like, I think they were like right back there. But I think I would attach the railroad tracks to walk to Pascal when I was probably about 17, because I went to different high schools. I moved here 1990-ish, pretty much 1990, mid-semester, and enrolled in Pascal, and I ended up graduating in 93. But I was going to, I think, Keller High School, and then I went to Richland High School and Haltom High School for a little while, which I'm pretty sure Video Bob Mosley went to Haltom. He's from the Haltom area. But anyway, I would pick up on the tracks right here, and I would just walk all the way to Barry and then turn right until I got a car. My sister gave me her red Laser Plymouth. It's like a sports car kind of thing. I had that graduating, and used that one until I pretty much almost graduated from University of North Texas. Yeah, Pascal's that way. There was a Blockbuster right over there. I miss the Blockbusters. There's only one left. It's in Oregon. Here's the great tree. That's what I call it. Mellow mushroom. All right, so what I heard from the inside is that this was started in 1974, but it originated in Atlanta, and it came out here 18 years ago to Bluebonnet Circle. Doing some kind of art project here, and they just plastered over or something. I guess maybe they were working on the chimney. Oh, I guess they plastered the chimney closed. Bathrooms here at Mellow Mushroom are kind of big, and they got this little private booth. So if you have kids or something, you can change here. So, it's a little clean up, but pretty good. All right, Mellow Mushroom on the way. 7:36, 19 minutes, 7.4 for the delivery.
His back resting against the rough breccia, he could see the side of Whiteside's head about 3 feet away. When John leaned back, Buchanan could see the snow-capped top of Mount Taylor looming over Grants, New Mexico, about 80 miles to the east. Now John was leaning forward, talking. "So you can climb back down again," Whiteside said. "That seems like a poor way to get the job done. Maybe it's the only way to get to the summit, but I'll bet we could find a faster way down."
Alright, this is like a community that lives among a golf course known as Mira Vista. Yield to right lane. Yeah, the golf course is over that way. There's a lot of mansions and stuff like that here. That's like the first part of the golf course right there. I don't know if it's 18 holes or not. Probably is. You can see some of the greens right there. And where the ATVs travel through there. Here's one of the mansions. Right, K-Town hot dogs on our way. 7:52, 5 minutes, 1.9 for the pickup. I got spicy Cheetos, 4 of them, half meat and half mozzarella, and some jalapeno poppers. K-Town hot dogs, Korean street food on the way. 8:07, 9 minutes, 3.9 for the drop-off.
One said, just something that's been sort of sticking in my mind for years. Just curiosity, really. She tried his own coffee and found it absolutely delicious.
I'm assuming the dogs smell my cat on me. I'm not sure. Oh well. He had a leash, thank goodness. But I couldn't tell what type of dog it was. It looked like a mixed breed or something. Alright. Pentecostal church right here. Got these right here. Little cashews. Pretty good. I got one at Starbucks. 8:19, 3 minutes, 1.1 for the pickup. Like this. They've got like little sugar coating on them. They're really good cashews. Chairs, some of the chairs are put up. I wonder if it's drive-through. Yeah, the bags are out right here. Should be okay. I'll just go through the drive-through. I didn't know the Starbucks was here. Ooh, they got a protein. Iced caramel protein matcha. And a caramel protein latte.
Hi, welcome to Starbucks. What can I get you?
Ooh, the pistachio is back. Pistachio cream cold brew. And then there's a pistachio latte. Yeah, she said she'd just hand it off to me because their lobby's still open. I thought it was closed. But she's just gonna hand it to me. Right, 8:28 for the arrival. 5 minutes. 1.4 for the drop off. Some bikers. Sanctuary. 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 I drop it right here, take a photo. right, got one at Van Leeuwen's Ice Cream. And we're on our way. 9:04, 1 minute, and 400 feet. All right, looks like the peanut butter brownie honeycomb. Ooh, they got cinnamon caramel apple too. Sunday's week. And copyright music. All right, Van Leeuwen ice cream and milkshakes on the way. 9:13, 6 minutes, 2.5 for the delivery. Papa John's on the way, 9:33 arrival, 7 minutes, 2.1 for the pickup. Papa John's on the way, 9:52 arrival, 10 minutes, 3.4 for the delivery. McDonald's on the way, 10 arrival, 2 minutes, 0.6. Thanks for the 50-cent tip. Deluxe QPC. That's a quarter pounder with cheese. All right, McDonald's on the way, 10:10 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.3 for the delivery. There's the Grand Mark. All right, next McDonald's drop, 10:19 arrival, 4 minutes, 0.9 for that drop off. And spirits at Pizza Hut by Pascal High School off of Berry, 10:26 arrival, 2 minutes, 0.5 for the pickup. Leave it on a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. Hang on, a little bit longer. There he is. Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Pizza Hut on Berry, Cole.
Thanks, Sam Elliott.
Pizza Hut does sound good, but I was kind of in the mood for cornbread and some beans. Wolf chili beans, especially. I was instructed to bring my pizza bag.
Pizza Hut on the way, 10:56, 7 minutes, 3.2 for the delivery. breadsticks. That'll be remade. So this one's not as long as usually. They're a little bit longer than that. So, about 49 degrees Fahrenheit according to the car. Alright, Weatherbug's saying about 45. And Apple's saying 41. The car just said 50. I don't know.
You don't have to put up with... He shrugged and chuckled. She let.
Alright, well, that's the last one for tonight. We're going to head back to feed Kitty.
It's forced. He wasn't used to this strange new version of Leopold.
You know, the Christian community can be a wonderful thing. It usually, in most cases, always is. And just thing about Adam's dad was, even in his message about the loss of his son, which a lot of people can't even do that, he still found, of course he went through his tears, he found a moment to laugh. And this is why the man was made a youth minister, because kids would like that. You know, the kids, which is what he was an expert with, you know. And I think what Adam found in growing up, Adam Williams, is he found out that fun is important. I think he found that out, and he showed that with other people. But that brings it brings about joy, and you can't lose that way. You can never lose with kindness. I think he knew that. He helped all his friends. He wouldn't take a gift. Really important one is the Jordan the Lion one that I watched the other day. It was a few weeks ago, but it's a really good description of AdamtheWoo. And Jordan just adored him, because Jordan Lyon, he needed someone like, I've been out in Hollywood. I've been out in LA. It's dark. It can make you cry. Jordan talked about how sad he was at times until he got Jaw. He got Jaw, the dog, got him out of his house, or got him out of where he was living. And he met Adam as like a traveling brother, just like in Pilgrim's Progress you have Christian and hopeful, or Christian and faithful, you know. Who you know, Christian had friends as he traveled with, and Jordan needed that. He needed someone that wasn't afraid, that could be kind, and that would encourage him and say, hey, listen, man, next couple of months you're going to be doing this thing. It's really going to be great, and you're really going to take off. And that changed his attitude. Shelley Winters probably helped him too, because Shelley went through all of it, you know. And he needed that. And so Adam's story is a story, I think, a little bit about rescue, because that's a dark place. It can be a dark place. And they left during dark times. You know, they were good friends, and they even left pretty much at the same time. But I'm glad Jordan's around, and I wish, and I look forward, you know, to watching more of Adam's videos, because it signifies no fear. It signifies friendship and joy, you know. And there's not going to be anything wrong with that. I was taught by a pastor, a really important one, Josh Smith. Yeah, he's a very important pastor, and a very wise pastor, and a very educated pastor, and helped me through my fatherhood and starting a family. And just by going to his sermons, there goes a Cybertruck. And he said, you know what, I'm forgetting what he said. That Cybertruck threw me off. I think, yeah, I remember now. He kind of reminded us that there's no law against kindness, and to be kind. And I have kind of a dark kind of thing with, I've been dealing, I'm asking God to help me every day with what we know is anger. We all have it, okay? Confusion, just talking out of the side of my mouth, as they say, you know, saying the wrong things. And you know, craziness, just all of it. I'm not gonna lie, you know. But I remember Josh saying it, and a tear rolling down Josh's eyes. And this was just a regular sermon that he would have. That it was very important to be kind, because if you can use that kindness to fuel you throughout the rest of your life. And that's what I heard in Adam's voice, that there was still kindness and like the behavior and everything. So we'll miss him, and it's 4 minutes here right now. It's important. I look forward to seeing JWW's videos. He said he was going to do it, so we'll watch them. I saw him come up on my YouTube today. I think it was like 11 hours. You know, he'd already made the video. He edited it and everything. He's got a little intro and stuff like that. And you start to think, this is where the mind of that genius on YouTube came from, and yet it's an important message that goes along with it and gives us hope. That's what we want. That's what we want, you know. It's hard because you go through YouTube and you're like, where's the hope, you know? But they all have it. We all have it inside of us. I think the name of Jesus is important. I think it's life or death. And it's, you know, to know, here's one thing I want to say before I cut off and head back to feed Kitty. To know that you're going to live forever, and we all are, one way or another. I was told we're all immortal. But to know that we're going to live in paradise forever with important people, and that person, that friend being Jesus, it can take a lot of the anger, a lot of the confusion, a lot of the anger. It can take it away just like that. And it can change a person as quick as with Godspeed. I'll put it that way. Thank you. and all the other ministers that are out there too. Just thank you. And it's a long battle, and we're behind enemy lines, but we're also already there, as they say. In the song "Amazing Grace," it talks about it, that we're already kind of there. You know, I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, and now I can see. That continuously happens. All right. Sorry, I played John Newton in a play one time. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Going back to feed Kitty. Going ahead and cut. And I always say vlog not over yet. We've got 39 degrees. What are you doing in my chair? Here we go with today's kitty. There's one kitty and 9 lives, and each cat life has a number. Numbers 1 through 9. And swirl the cat food. And pick a cat food. Today's kitty will be having Temptation Bites and Gravy. Seafood medley flavor with salmon and real shrimp. And what will tomorrow's kitty be having? All right. I'm gonna give a good scoop here. Another scoop. There we go. I'm basically just gonna make. I was gonna make these. I might make this like. I'm gonna do this 90-second rice. And I've got some of this right here. It's basically like a sloppy Joe mix with 90-second rice. But I don't know if I'm gonna vlog all of it. Y'all have a good night. So make this in 90 seconds, the Spanish style. I got the sloppy Joe. It's basically hamburger meat. I'm gonna add some spinach, and then I'll have a few crackers with it. All right? Y'all have a good night. Remember, on this, it's hot. You want to squeeze it before you put it in there, and then tear a little bit of it like that. You pop it in the bowl, get some spinach, and mix that puppy in there just like that. And you can put onions in there too, or green peppers, or bell peppers, as they say. Mix that in there, and I'm gonna add a lunch. Oh, it's actually not lunch meat. It's sloppy Joe hamburger meat. I'm gonna add that in there. This is a Spanish hamburger and spinach mixture. This is what I call improv. You get the point. All right. Added the red onion, Italian flat red onion, and this horsey radish sauce. I'm gonna put it in. This is my own creation. I call it Spanish spinach hamburger salad. So it's a Spanish rice, probably Spanish rice hamburger spinach or something like that. Is that pretty good? I'm gonna add these. Put some of that in there. Give it kind of a tangy. It brings out the flavor in the rice. A little bit of radish, not a whole lot. You could actually put radish in there too, probably. It's kind of a foodie meal. So it's spinach, hamburger, Spanish rice, and red onion, and spinach, and a little bit of horseradish. What do you think, Kitty? Yeah, gosh, that poor couch. Hitchcock shower sequence where there's a lot of different cuts. I think there was hundreds of cuts in that than on this one. Not very much, but better do this in the microwave. What do you think, Kitty? Kitty doesn't know. Mushing some of that on there. Think of the man upstairs. This is pretty good. It's Spanish rice, hamburger meat, spinach, a little bit of red onion. Some of this. Actually, horseradish sauce. I came up with it. So it's my invention. Whether it'll make it to Park Avenue, I don't know. Okay, let's see what we got. The cat's gone wild. There I am. All right, let's see. What to watch, Oh, there's Trent. Camp Out with Jay. California Rewrite, that looks cool. There's ABC. Chubby Retro. One battle after another. Yeah, we'll find something. The Final Tribute. Huh. The Final Tribute. AdamtheWoo's. Pizza. Bad New York City. Oh, it's 10 years ago. I go with that one.